ton of big news in this video, and we're talking about it all. My name is Ango. 7 days a week, I keep you updated with everything that's happening in wrestling. I provide my analysis, my perspective. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. That's up to you. But nonetheless, you're going to get the information as it comes out. Today, we're talking about trios belts. We're talking about WWE Superstars gone from the company. And then also, we are talking about WWE and their interest in W.Morrisey. We're going to kick things off. I don't know, maybe WWE could actually watch Impact Wrestling from time to time, because W.Morrisey on AEW wasn't the first glimpse of a revitalized Big Cass. But now, all of a sudden, apparently, WWE is reportedly super interested in him. This was something that was discussed by Andrew Zarian from the Mat Men Pro Wrestling podcast. Andrew Zarian said he heard from people asking about Morrissey's contract. Zarian also said, I got a couple of messages about him from people wanting to know when his contract ends. Later in the show, Zarian said that people in WWE were definitely impressed by what they saw. I'm not going to say that WWE is going to take him, but I can tell you that WWE is definitely impressed by him. There's no way around it, man. I got a message last night while he's coming out, and somebody said, did you see this effing guy? So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Very cool, actually. But again, W.Morrisey showing up on AEW Dynamite wasn't the first glimpse of a revitalized Big Cass. I said that before. I'll say that again. And if I have to keep saying it, I'll keep saying it. Yes, I understand that Impact doesn't have the most eyes on its product, but instead of chasing around a different audience, it seems like Impact has been doing a really solid job for their audience. And that's one of the perks that they have, obviously, with Access TV being owned by Anthem, which obviously owns Impact. It's cool, man. Impact's in their own little bubble. What they have going with W.Morrisey is awesome. Some really good booking there. Obviously, the guy looks great. Obviously, anybody who knows his story, they know about his personal demons and some of those issues that he's had. So ultimately, this is a good thing. You know, if WWE wants to bring him back, if AEW wants to sign him, if Impact wants to keep him, I can't tell you guys what W.Morrisey's thinking. I can't tell you guys about the contract stuff. But I think any company at this point would be good with having him. You know, everybody has seen his glow up, his come up, his he was going through it, man. He was going through a very, very rough patch, and this could be a good redemption storyline. And despite him losing against Wardlow, I think a lot of people still took that as a W, and that's important. You know what I mean? Wins and losses matter in AEW, but with W.Morrisey losing, if he ever does come to AEW full time, I imagine some good things could come out of it too. As far as people talking about Enzo, I don't know if Enzo should be in the mix, but I'll let you guys decide that on your own. And it's not that I have anything against Enzo. Just as simple as that. Like, that's up to you guys. If you guys want Enzo, I think both guys should be solo. Enzo's doing something in MLW after his legal trouble went away. Apparently it was all done with or whatever. So now he's back in MLW, or now he's in MLW. Big Cass is doing his own thing as W.Morrisey. Wrestling is good. AEW trio belts already done. Apparently they've actually been created for a while. At least that's what Meltzer had said. He said in the recent Wrestling Observer newsletter that the trios belts have been made, so now it's just a matter of when they pull the trigger. Now, obviously, we've been waiting for the return of Kenny Omega. This is not entirely new news, but we didn't know that the trios belts were already finished. And I don't know what these belts are going to look like. Obviously, they haven't given us a glimpse. I don't know if AEW is going to do what they always do and put on a tournament, which is really intriguing to me, because when it comes to a tournament format, I do think they're fun. But man, AEW has had so many tournaments, so many qualifying matches, which I guess makes sense because they're a sport. And I'm not saying this to criticize AEW, but is there a better way to do this for the trios belts? Like, is there a better way to crown the trios belts without doing a tournament? And honestly, I can't think of one. So I'm curious, if you guys have an idea, drop it in the comment section. I can't seem to think of one, and truth be told, that might not be a bad thing. I just feel like AEW does a lot of tournaments. But again, I mean, it totally makes sense. I kind of like the idea of tournaments. I just feel like sometimes when there's so many of them, they don't feel as special. So is there a way that AEW could at least do something special here? I don't know. But there's a lot of badass trios. There's been this rumor about the trios belt since very, 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 very beginning of AEW. It's been 3 years. Obviously, it's supposed to be coming soon. But when does Kenny Omega return? If I had any belief, it'd probably be June or July, maybe the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. But then at that point, who should be the first Forbidden? Who should be the first Trios champions in AEW? You have Blackpool Combat Club. You have House of Black. You have Penta, Pac, and Rey Fenix. It looks like they'll be revisiting that trio. You have quite a few people, man. You have quite a few people in a trio. I'm always curious if maybe they decide to put Darby with the Hardy Boys or something. I don't know. I'm always curious to see what they do now with Butcher and the Blade and Angelico joining them. Nonetheless, I think the trios belts might be the most exciting thing for me in AEW. I could be wrong. But maybe my opinion will change. But I think based on the amount of trios and the amount of great six-man tag matches we've seen in AEW, I imagine that trios belts will be a very good part of the show. And it's something I look forward to. That hasn't changed. I think House of Black or BCC definitely have to be there, though. With that being said, guys, I want to switch our attention to our final news story of the day. Another WWE superstar gone. It's been confirmed that Candice LeRae, her contract has expired with WWE, and she is gone. According to Fightful Select, a report confirmed that WWE sources that she is a free agent. Her deal was expected to be up this spring, but it was unknown whether WWE would add time to her deal because she missed several months due to her pregnancy. By the way, with her becoming a free agent now, that means that she wasn't given time added to her contract, which I think if WWE did actually end up doing that, that would have made them look incredibly terrible. It wouldn't have been the right decision, in my opinion. But with that being said, we don't know what's going to happen with Candice LeRae. Obviously, Candice and Johnny both had their child, Quill. And, that would be... It would be one of those things like, I don't know if there's no real talk here as to whether or not she's not interested in staying in WWE. There's no talk as to whether or not she's done with wrestling, still wrestling. Does she have plans? There's no talks about AEW here. There's no talks other than she has gone from the company. So maybe this also means that WWE was not interested. That can always be a possibility as well. That needs to be something that needs to be mentioned, right? Instead of WWE releasing Candice LeRae, maybe they just let it extend and maybe they didn't even offer a new deal, right? That also has to be on the table when considering what's going on here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative or bad situation, especially when Johnny Gargano has been incredibly positive about his whole thing with WWE and everything. For some reason, I think Johnny Gargano will have like one or two indie matches, maybe a couple stops at other places. And then I think Johnny Gargano finds his way back to WWE. I really do. I think he finds himself to the main roster. I think he gets involved with Tommaso Ciampa at some point, maybe a tag team or something. I don't know. But I'm intrigued to see what happens. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching.